Have you ever felt the sting of disrespect? That moment when someone's words or actions cut deep, leaving you questioning your worth? It's a pain we all encounter. But here's the truth. Their lack of respect does not define your value. In fact, how you respond in those moments reveals the strength of your character. The Stoics teach us that while we can't control the behavior of others, we have absolute power over our reactions. Respect isn't something we beg for, it's something we embody. Today I'll share 5 Stoic strategies to rise above disrespect, protect your inner peace, and remain unshakable in the face of life's challenges. Let's take the high road together. 1. Master the silent stare. Silence is power. In the face of disrespect, the impulse to retaliate can be overwhelming. But remember this: the moment you react emotionally, you hand over control to the other person. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The silent stare is a living embodiment of this principle. It's not about fear or submission. It's about commanding the moment with poise and confidence. Picture this. You're in a meeting, and someone undermines your ideas. Every fiber of your being wants to lash out or prove your point, but instead you pause, maintain a calm, focused gaze, and let the weight of your silence speak for itself. This moment of quiet dominance can shift the energy in the room. It signals self-assurance, a quality that men striving for success, financially, emotionally, and professionally, must cultivate beyond the surface. The silent stare is about strategy. By refusing to engage in petty arguments, you conserve your energy for what truly matters: building your legacy. Whether it's advancing your career, strengthening your relationships, or staying focused on your long-term goals, every ounce of energy you save can be reinvested into creating a life that commands respect, not demands it. Epictetus reminds us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your silence isn't a retreat. It's a declaration that you value your peace and purpose over fleeting disputes. Silence, paired with intention, turns your focus inward, empowering you to channel your drive into areas where your effort pays off. So next time disrespect stares you in the face, let your response be measured, powerful, and unshakable. Speak through your calm demeanor. Speak through your actions. And above all, remember that silence, when paired with confidence, is louder than any insult ever could be. 2. Silence speaks louder than words. Here's something people often overlook. Silence can be an incredibly powerful response. When someone disrespects you, sometimes the best reaction is no reaction at all. You might wonder, doesn't staying quiet seem weak or like I'm letting them win? Actually, it's the opposite. Silence isn't passive. It's intentional, and it can be one of the strongest statements you make. When someone tries to pull you into their negativity, they're banking on a response. Whether it's anger, defensiveness, or justification, they want you to engage. But when you remain silent and let their words linger unanswered, it forces them to deal with their behavior on their own. That silence can feel overwhelming. Here's why this works so well. Disrespectful people expect a reaction. They're looking for a confrontation, validation, or some kind of attention. But by withholding a response, you're telling them, "You don't deserve my time or energy." It's a subtle way of asserting your boundaries while maintaining control. Once, I had a colleague who couldn't resist making snide remarks disguised as jokes. You know the kind, cutting comments that are meant to embarrass you but are brushed off as just kidding. One day they took a jab at my work, clearly trying to provoke me. Instead of engaging, I paused, raised an eyebrow, and didn't say a word. I let the silence hang between us, and the discomfort was palpable. They quickly shifted their focus and didn't make another comment like that again. The beauty of silence is that it doesn't give disrespect the fuel it needs to thrive. Without a reaction, their words lose all impact. Choosing not to respond isn't just about avoiding drama. It's a way of prioritizing your peace. When you decide to remain quiet, you're sending a clear message. I value my energy and self-respect too much to waste them here. Too often we feel the need to respond to every comment, defend our decisions, or prove ourselves to people who don't respect us. But when you embrace silence, you draw a line in the sand. You're letting them know, your opinion doesn't define me. Silence is also a great way to protect your mental and emotional space. It acts like a barrier, shielding you from the negativity others try to project onto you. By not engaging, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and keep control over your emotions. Learning to use silence isn't always easy. I used to believe that staying quiet made me look weak or indifferent. But over time, I realized that silence often says more than words ever could. Each time I chose not to engage, I felt a renewed sense of strength and control. Here's a challenge. The next time someone tries to test your boundaries or make a disrespectful remark, take a breath. Pause. Look them in the eye and say nothing. Let the silence carry the weight of your response. You'll be amazed at how quickly the situation changes and how empowering it feels to stay grounded. Let silence do the talking for you. Sometimes the strongest response is to say nothing at all. Third stop. Justifying your decisions. Let's face it, people love to question your choices. Whether it's about your career, relationships, or even how you spend your free time, there's always someone asking, why? But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you choose to live your life. Your decisions are yours, and they don't need validation from others. More often than not, when people ask why you've made a particular choice, they're not genuinely curious. They're looking to judge, critique, or project their own insecurities. They might be uncomfortable with your independence or feel threatened because your actions challenge their own beliefs. When you stop explaining yourself, you reclaim your autonomy. You send a clear message. I don't need your approval to live my life. You're setting a boundary that says your decisions are not up for debate. Here's the thing. When people demand explanations, it's often because your choices make them uncomfortable. Maybe you're taking a leap they're too scared to take or breaking out of a routine they find reassuring. Their questioning isn't about you. It's about them. But that doesn't mean you have to shrink yourself to make them feel better. I remember when I decided to make a major career shift, leaving a safe, predictable job to pursue something I was genuinely passionate about. The reactions were immediate. Why would you leave a secure position? What if it doesn't work out? It felt like everyone had an opinion, and for a while I felt obligated to explain myself. But then I realized something. No explanation would satisfy them because they weren't looking to understand. They were looking to challenge me. So I stopped justifying my decision. When someone asked, why? I simply said, because it's what I want. And you know what happened? The questions eventually stopped. By refusing to explain, I took the power away from their doubts and reinforced my own confidence. When you stop feeling the need to explain yourself, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. You stop wasting energy trying to convince people who don't truly care about your happiness. Instead, you focus that energy on living your life unapologetically. Here's the best part. When you stop explaining your choices, people start respecting them. They realize that you're not seeking their validation, and that confidence becomes contagious. The next time someone asks you to justify your decision, respond with a simple, confident statement. Because it's what works for me. You don't need to elaborate, defend, or over-explain. Let that be enough, because it is. When you live your life on your own terms and stop seeking approval from others, you'll feel lighter, more empowered, and free to focus on what truly matters. 4. Create space between you and disrespect. Let's be real. Sometimes the best way to handle people who don't respect you is by simply distancing yourself from them. I know it may sound harsh, maybe even cold, but here's the reality. Some people aren't worthy of being a part of your life. If someone continually disrespects you, one of the most powerful things you can do is put some space between the two of you. This isn't about being cruel or playing games. It's about honoring your own well-being. Keeping your distance isn't about ignoring people or cutting them off for no reason. It's about being intentional with where you invest your time and energy. Think of your life as an exclusive club. Only a select few should have access to the VIP section. If someone is repeatedly violating your boundaries, making you feel bad about yourself or bringing negativity into your life, why should you keep them close? Stepping back isn't only okay, it's essential. Distance allows you to see things clearly without the influence of emotional manipulation or guilt. When you allow disrespectful individuals into your space, it's like you're giving them permission to take advantage of your emotions. They criticize, judge, and take whatever they can, leaving you drained and frustrated. No wonder you feel mentally exhausted. By distancing yourself, you're protecting your peace. It's an act of self-care, and it's crucial for your mental health. You're making space for people who actually respect you and who add value to your life. Don't feel guilty about creating distance from those who don't deserve it. I once had a friend who always seemed to have something negative to say about my life choices, my career, my relationships, even my taste in music. At first, I thought maybe I was overreacting. That's just their personality, I told myself. So I kept hanging out with them, dismissing the little jabs as nothing serious. But as time went on, those comments started getting under my skin. I found myself constantly bracing for the next criticism. One day, I decided to make a change. I didn't make a dramatic scene. I simply started pulling back. Instead of hanging out every week, I limited it to once a month. And you know what? I felt lighter. I felt like I could finally breathe. Distance gave me the clarity I needed to realize that I deserved better. I didn't need that kind of toxic energy in my life anymore. Now, some people may try to make you feel bad about setting boundaries. They might say, but they're family, or you've known them for years. It's uncomfortable, maybe even a little taboo, to admit that someone you've known for a long time is actually harmful to you. Society pressures us to be loyal, forgiving, and always nice. But at what cost? Here's the truth. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's necessary. You're not here to be anyone's emotional punching bag or their source of validation. Sometimes, the best way to show someone you've had enough is by simply stepping back. By distancing yourself from people who disrespect you, you're making a statement to yourself. My peace matters more than your negativity. You no longer have to play by their rules or follow the role they've assigned to you. You are the priority, and that's an act of self-respect. Distance isn't just about controlling the situation. It's about reclaiming your energy. By putting space between yourself and those who drain you, you're protecting your peace and giving room for better relationships to grow. The more time you spend with people who respect you, the more confident and fulfilled you become. When I started distancing myself from people who didn't treat me well, I realized something important. I felt free. I had more energy, more peace, and a much clearer vision for my life. Think about the people in your life who consistently disrespect you, who leave you feeling drained or belittled. Ask yourself, do they really deserve this much of my time and attention? It's time to protect your peace and focus on the people who truly add value to your life. 5. Keep your head up. Let's dive into one of the most timeless pieces of advice. Keep your head up. I know it sounds simple, but it's one of the most impactful ways to handle people who don't respect you. Here's the deal. When someone disrespects you, their goal is to make you feel small. They want you to doubt yourself, shrink into the background, and lose your confidence. But when you stand tall, hold your head up, and refuse to let their negativity touch you, you're sending a message loud and clear. I know who I am, and I won't let your disrespect define me. Here's what's amazing about this. Confidence has a way of unsettling people, especially those who don't respect others. Why? Because they're used to having control, to using their words and actions to make others feel inferior. But when you stay firm, when you don't let their disrespect affect you, you disarm them. You take away their ability to control you. They can't handle that. It confuses them. It makes them question their power over you. I've been in a situation where someone was constantly throwing subtle insults my way. At first, I tried to brush it off, but over time it started getting to me. I felt like I had to constantly be on guard, defending myself. Then one day, I decided enough was enough. I walked in with my shoulders back, head held high. Every time they threw a jab, I just smiled, looked them in the eye, and kept going as if nothing happened. You know what happened? They started backing off. It was like they could feel that their words weren't reaching me anymore. Suddenly, their power disappeared. There's something magnetic about holding your head up high. It creates this invisible shield around you, almost like a force field that says, "You can't touch me." When you walk with confidence, you disrupt the negativity of others. It rattles their belief that they have control over you. And here's the truth. Holding your head high isn't about proving anything to anyone else. It's about you owning your worth and walking through life like you know you have nothing to prove. To others, it might feel uncomfortable, even offensive, but really, it's a profound act of self-respect. When you hold your head high, you're declaring that you know you're worthy, you deserve respect, and you don't need anyone's approval. Your worth isn't up for debate. You already have everything you need within you. This wasn't always easy for me. I used to be the person who would shrink away, avoid eye contact, and disappear when faced with criticism or negativity. It felt safer to blend into the background. But as time passed, I began to realize something. Every time I stood taller, every time I refused to let someone's disrespect affect me, I felt more powerful. It was like reminding myself that I don't need anyone else's validation to feel worthy. Holding your head high is about more than just your physical posture. It's about your mental strength too. Walk into every room like you belong there. Don't shrink to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. When someone throws a snide remark your way, let it slide off you. They're only projecting their own insecurities, so why should you let it bother you? Next time you're confronted with disrespect, whether it's a small comment or a full-blown insult, don't react. Instead, take a deep breath, straighten your back, and hold your head up. Look the person straight in the eye as if to say, "I see you, but I'm beyond this." You'll feel a rush of confidence and a sense of peace, knowing that their words don't hold any weight over you. Holding your head up is more than just good posture. It's a silent declaration of your self-respect. It says, "I know who I am, and nothing you do can change that." At the end of the day, respect starts with you. The more you respect yourself, the less room there is for others to disrespect you. Stand tall, claim your worth, and know that you are deserving of all the confidence in the world. Life's too short to spend it pleasing people who can't see your value. You don't need anyone's permission to live on your own terms. People will try to bring you down, question your decisions, or push your boundaries. That's just how the world works. But here's the thing. You get to choose the energy you allow into your life. You set the standard for how you're treated. The more you focus on respecting yourself, the more you'll attract people who uplift you, instead of those who try to bring you down. It all begins with you embracing your own power, and the rest will fall into place. So, keep your head high. Embrace silence when it serves you, and never apologize for walking away from what no longer adds value to your life. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more content on owning your life and building the confidence to thrive.